All right, so we are doing learning differences. And did the candidate make students feel valued? I definitely thought that you made them feel valued. I like the way that you made a genuine effort to learn their names, because sometimes it's hard learning students' names, especially when you got to move them. And when we did our bio poems for our introductions and trying to learn one another as a class, you always pointed out something. You found a way from their poem, something they mentioned, whether it was they're scared of spiders or they surfed. You always found some way to make a connection and single them out in a way that makes them feel valued, like you really cared about what they were saying and who they were as a student and as a person, and maybe what their fears really were, as they mentioned in the poem, or what really made them stand out. So I really like the way you did that. So candidate makes students feel valued but has not effectively helped students learn to respect each other. So I definitely think you made them feel valued, and you even talked to them. I do think you introduced the whole respect to one another, but again, we just haven't had time to bond and progress as a class together with it being at the beginning of the semester. So that's why I gave you basic in that. I think the respect issue is going to come as we grow as teacher-student relationships and student-to-student relationships. Did the candidate demonstrate the knowledge and the skill to differentiate instruction? Candidate differentiates instruction based on students' interests, learning preferences, readiness, or special needs. I think you did basic in that simply because, again, we don't know all our students. We're still getting things from our Exceptional Children's Department and our 504 Counseling Center. And so overall, I think you did the best you could with the knowledge you had, and just as a general blanket, you recognized that everybody learns different. So you did guided practice on the computer. You let them do some activities together. You did some grouping where they could talk to one another, so it's kind of like a peer-to-peer type of thing. So some students really learn well from other students as well if you have them paired correctly or in the grouped correctly. So I think overall you did meet that criteria as basic. Students with learning differences or needs, did the candidate demonstrate his or her ability to make appropriate and timely accommodations? Candidate understands the importance of making appropriate accommodations for students with learning differences or needs, but does not consistently implement them. Again, basic. It goes right back to we're just in the beginning, and as we're getting things in place, I think that will come with you. Plus, I will be giving you some guidance so that I'm meeting what I'm supposed to meet as far as legalities. And I think you were just aware, too, of some that might be moving slower, whether they had an IEP or not. Just in general, a student might not have gotten something. It might not have clicked, and you were very cognizant of that as you observed the class. So yes, basic. Did the candidate integrate multiple perspectives in his or her lessons to develop respect and understanding for cultural differences? So candidate has developed some lessons that present multiple perspectives of families from diverse backgrounds and cultural norms. So I don't know that we.
That's when we were talking about. I said that's when I was calling Ibanez, and I was explaining to him that, you may celebrate Christmas one way, and I celebrate Christmas one way.
Yes.
We all different, but we all the same. We have the same type of goals, which is to achieve and make this country better.
Absolutely. So definitely, I put you as basic for that. English language learners, did the candidate use appropriate instructional strategies to help English language learners learn from the content being taught? Candidate is familiar with some of the instructional strategies for working effectively with English language learners, but does not consistently use the strategies. And again, I felt like you were basic in that. Your journals that you do in the beginning is definitely supports this here, because you're teaching them to write. When you give directions, when I give directions in some of the packets that we have, is teaching them to read. It's enforcing their reading skills, but it's not just they're reading literature. They're learning how to read business documents, which is what this class is about. So it supports that aspect of it. So overall, again, I think you did well with this, implemented, met your basic criteria. And again, I hope to see that grow over the next few weeks as we progress into this.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any comments?
No, ma'am. I learned a lot, and I'm enjoying this. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Now,
All right, that was learning differences.
now I don't think I have a learning environment up here.